all about how to buy, lease, maintain, or repair your car without being ripped off by a car dealer. With me in the studio is Nancy Stewart, my wife, co-host, and a strong consumer advocate, especially for our female listeners. We also have Rick Kearney, an expert on how to keep your car running right. I dare you to ask a question that Rick can't answer about the mechanics or electronics of your car. Also with us is my son, Stu Stewart, our link to cyberspace through Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Periscope. Stu is also the Spy Master Director of our Mystery Shopping Report. He dispatches our Secret Shopper weekly to an unsuspecting South Florida dealership. And now, on with the show.
Good morning, everybody. Well, it's good to be back. We're back live. I guess if I say that, we can't use this for a rerun in the future, but the recording you just heard, of course, was a recording of my voice, and now I'm live in the studio with the team, the regular team that a lot of you have been listening to for years, almost 17, maybe over 17. I lose track of the years. We've got Nancy Stewart, my co-host, also my wife. Got Stu Stewart, my son, and he's also our, as I said earlier on the recording, he's our cyber master. He's our mystery shopping expert. Got Rick Kearney sitting to my right here. Rick's worked for me for over a quarter century. Makes me feel old when I say that. Makes you feel old.
Makes me feel old.
So Rick is the world's, I won't say the world's foremost authority, but the most authoritative person I know on the mechanics and electronics and the computerization of automobiles. Anyway, we're back live. We took a couple weeks off. You may have heard about the pandemic. I mean, you got to laugh at it, folks, right? The biggest crisis, really, in human history. Some people argue that 1918, the Spanish flu, was pretty bad. My father lived through that. But as far as I'm concerned, I was born in 1940. I've seen nothing like this. So thank you folks out there on radio, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you're following this. Thank you for being a part of this show. We consider you the essence, the most important part of the show. Your questions and calls, your text, your YouTube post, your Facebook post. This is the fodder for the show that we need to answer questions and listen to you with what you have to say. Special time during this corona crisis. The show will continue talking about automotive because that's what we do. We're not going to hear stories about the corona crisis. We hear too much of that already on the news and everywhere you turn. But we're going to be talking about how to buy or lease or maintain or repair your car without being taken advantage of. We talk about that all the time, but during this very unique crisis that we're in, we find ourselves in a interesting dichotomy. It's very scary to buy anything, very scary to go outside the house. But there are some great bargains out there in retail, and particularly in automobile buying and leasing, even repairing and maintaining. But you have to be very careful. We're going to be talking about that largely. There was some blogs that I did recently from Earl on Cars. And by the way, anything that I say, you can usually find it on our blog. One of the most recent blogs is called Buying a Car During a Pandemic, Best of Times and Worst of Times. And I say you go to earloncars.com and you can read all these blogs. We'll talk about them a little bit on today's show. And here's another one I did earlier, Compassion, Car Payments, and the Coronavirus. That's an interesting look at how you can get relief from lease payments, buying your installment credit payments. We're seeing a lot of this, forgiving of debt and helping the people. We give you some guidance now if you're having a hard time with your lease payments or your car payments. And then we'll also be talking about, and this is another blog, Coronavirus, Car Dealers and Consumers, Online Shopping. We've always advocated online shopping. Now online shopping is becoming the standard. And when this is all over, in a month or two or three or whatever, you're going to find you'll be buying a whole lot more of everything online. It's the safest way if you do it right, to buy a car. And we'll talk about that today. If you have any questions, as I said earlier, you are the most important part of the show. And our call-in number is 877-960-9960. I'd like you to write that number down, please, if you got a pencil handy. 877-960-9960. We'll prioritize the phone calls because that's more personal. We'd like to hear your voice. And Nancy Stewart, my co-host, in just a minute is going to tell you about a slam-bang doozy of an offer for first-time female callers, the first two female callers. I'm going to let her tell you what it is, but if you're a regular listener, you know what it is. But if you don't, you're not going to believe this offer for the first two female callers to 877-960-9960. And you can text us. You can text us at area code 772-497-6530. Again, that's 772-497-6530. If you haven't listened to the show, please write the number down. The texts are kind of cool because we accumulate a backlog as we go through the show. We're on the air from 8 o'clock this morning until 10 o'clock, 8 to 10. And if we get into a subject and we don't get to the phone calls or the text, we usually catch up toward the end of the show. So that text number is 772-497-6530. That's 772-497-6530. And as I said, please write the number down if you haven't already done that. And we will prioritize, as I said earlier, phone calls. So let's move over, and I want to welcome Nancy Stewart back. By the way, in full transparency, one of the reasons that we missed a couple of shows is Nancy had some symptoms, and she was tested, and she came through clean. She's healthy and happy. And before that, Emily Stewart, Stu's wife, my daughter-in-law also had symptoms, and Stu had to quarantine himself in the home. And so there was another reason. So it wasn't just we decided we didn't want to do the show. We had some pretty valid reasons. And we have doctor's approval now. And Nancy got her doctor's approval yesterday.
Yep.
And so we're all approved to be here. And we're being very safe. I have my little mask here. And I have my little gloves. I've got my Earl.
You look a little bit like a serial killer.
Yeah, I got my Lysol, and we're all here to be very careful. And so, with that said, Nancy Stewart, the love of my life, my co-host, and my wife, tell us about that fantastic offer we got for the ladies out there.
Oh, shucks. I'm speechless. What an introduction. Hi, folks. So glad to be back with all of you right here in the studio, including Jonathan, who keeps us, on the straight and narrow with all of his technology that he blesses us with. And the show goes pretty successfully. There's so much negative media focus out there, and we're going to focus on a whole lot of positive, because there is a lot of positive in the auto industry, especially for auto insurance, online shopping, the best time to purchase a vehicle if you're careful. And also, on a positive note, the ladies, yes, the ladies, if you give us a call this morning, you can win yourself $50, and the first two new lady callers, $50. So get on the phone, give us a call, 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget to go to Earl on Cars, where you can read all of the latest and greatest information on the coronavirus, car dealers and consumers, online shopping, buying things on the internet. Hasn't that skyrocketed? Welcome to the 21st century. Who would have thought it would have cost more for water than oil? Who would have thought that there would be 13 states out there, 13, where you can purchase gas for $1 and under? It's crazy times, and we got one crazy show for you, including the mystery shopping report. I hope everyone understood what I said. I've got a deluxe mask on. So back to the recovering car dealer.
Okay, well, let's talk to Stu Stewart. He's our spy master in charge of mystery shopping and general manager of the dealership that we own. And we would like to have his view on things and mystery shopping report.
Well, it was kind of nice having a break for 2 weeks. The mystery shopping report that we have today is actually from 2 weeks ago. It went out on April 9th, I think. He went out in the field, Agent Thunder did. And so that's been in the can waiting for us to go, waiting for Nancy to get cleared for the show. But, it's been a interesting time. We talk about the change to the car business and the age of coronavirus, and we're living it. So we're watching like almost a study in human psychology, watching the customers. We're obviously at the dealership. All the car dealerships in Florida are considered essential businesses, primarily for the repair portion of it, but also for providing vehicles for people to drive. So that puts us in a kind of in a tough situation. We want to make sure that we're doing all the proper safety precautions for our customers and for our employees, and we're accomplishing that. But it's a challenge because there's a lot of fear and uncertainty, and but we're making our way through it. It's kind of interesting. Living in historic times. There's no real precedent in our lifetimes for it, so we're just kind of adapting. One of the phrases we're using a lot at the dealership is, there's not an owner's manual for this. There's no set of instructions telling us how to get through it, and we're kind of just using our best judgment, and hopefully we're doing the smart things. And the radio show is a great outlet because we're hearing not just from the people that come to speak to us at the dealership and our friends and family on Zoom and Skype and FaceTime. We're hearing from a whole wide swath of the community and their concerns. And so I feel really good about being part of a reliable information source to help people get through this.
Yeah. Rick, as I told you, I've been in the business for over half a century, over 50 years, and I've had a lot of technicians, and he's about the best. Certainly in modern times, there's nothing about a car, whether it's a Honda or a Chevrolet or a Toyota, he knows how to fix them. He knows how to diagnose problems. He can steer you in the right direction. We're just talking before the show, and I was talking to Rick about how business was. When this thing first hit, the business almost stopped. And now it's starting to pick back up again to give you a little pulse of the way things are going locally in Palm Beach County. But Rick was, all the dealers now are doing pickup and delivery. And that's an interesting change in the way business is being done, both in buying, retailing, and servicing. So, Rick, give us a little brief idea of what's going on in your world. You always say, welcome to my world when you do a speaking engagement.
Well, it just seems like I spend more time at work than I do in my living room, but it's because I do enjoy my job. I have a lot of fun with it. And I'm one of those that when I get a problem child car that it seems like nobody else can figure it out and they pass it along to me, I just turn into a bulldog and dig right in. I love figuring those out. But with this new situation, the new world here, the way things are going, things are changing a lot at our dealership. We're seeing customers that aren't sure what maintenance needs their car might need, aren't sure what repairs they want to do. They're not driving as much. A lot of people simply aren't driving at all anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
A quick hop to the grocery store once every couple of days. And because of this situation, they're all staying home. As a matter of fact, Mark Ryan is one of our YouTubers here from let's see, let me make sure I get this right now, because we have two Marks in Iowa, and Mark Ryan is the, Northeast Iowa, and we have Mark Smith down in Southeast Iowa. But Mark Ryan's asking, he says, are there any special maintenance suggestions for cars not being driven as much? And my best advice there is stick with what the factory recommends.
Yes.
Don't deviate. You don't need to change anything. Just stay with that like with the average Toyota, it's every 6 months or every 5,000 miles is what the factory recommends. Stick with that with your cars. However, for your home maintenance, I would recommend go out and start the engine up and just maybe even drive around the block a few times.
Sure.
But let the engine run at least once a week for about half an hour to 45 minutes just to kind of charge the battery up, exercise the engine, get that oil flowing through it, get its heart pumping a bit.
Yeah.
And just a little short drive just to make sure everything's loosened up, make sure your tires don't get a flat spot on them.
I would add something also for the fact that these cars are sitting and a lot of people are self-quarantined. And as Rick says repeatedly, you have to service your car based on the owner's manual recommendation. And the owner's manual looks at time and mileage about equally. And if you don't drive your car, you still need to bring it in for your routine maintenance on a time basis. For example, if it's 6 months or 5,000 miles, you don't put any miles on the car, you still need to check the car out in 6 months. Now, with that said, because of the special situation here, manufacturers, I'm believing, I know Toyota is doing this, and I believe most manufacturers are showing some leniency when it comes to service and repair. And I would do this. I would check with my car dealer, and I would say to him, I feel uncomfortable about bringing my car in. Now, your dealer may offer free pickup and delivery. If he does, that's wonderful, because then you can have your car serviced and you don't have to pay extra for the pickup and delivery. If that's not the case, and they don't do the pickup and delivery, or they want to charge a lot for pickup and delivery, I would go on record, probably with an email or a text, and a phone call also, but have it in writing and text and email. Say, I know I'm due for my 6-month inspection. I feel uncomfortable about bringing it in. Will you waive that for me in terms of my warranty or any other requirements that you may have for me bringing my car in? I'm seeing a lot of this with this unprecedented pandemic. We're seeing forgiveness of mortgages. We're seeing extensions of monthly car payments and lease payments. There's a lot of understanding and empathy and kindness going on in the world, but sometimes you have to ask for it. And I wrote a blog on that, by the way, about car payments. If you have a car and you're making monthly payments and you were laid off, you don't have a job, and you're finding it difficult to make the payments, call the lender before the lender calls you. And the same thing with anybody that you owe money to. You'd be surprised what the amount of forgiveness you can get. And if you don't want to come in, and I can see that, to a place of retail installment, it might even be against your doctor's orders, particularly if you're elderly. Just go on record of saying you're not going to do it, and 99% chance it will be forgiven.
And one other suggestion, folks, maybe take a little bit of this time that you're stuck at home and bored. Consider cleaning your car out a little bit. Look for all those old napkins and tissues that might have gone underneath the sink, underneath the seats, the center consoles, spots where soda and coffee may have spilled. A little bit of those Clorox wipes worked into there. Those places are breeding grounds for bacteria and other issues. It might be worth an idea of spend a little time scrubbing that car out as well as cleaning the house and keeping your hands washed very, very often.
Okay, how are we doing on phone calls?
Very often. We haven't received any yet, but that's great information, Rick. And don't forget that trunk. We sometimes drive around with everything but the kitchen sink in our trunk. So give us a call toll free.
Let's give that phone number out again a few times.
Give us a call toll free at 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget www.youranonymousfeedback.com. So you encouraged someone to call just now. We're going to go to Craig, who is calling us from Pensacola. Good morning, Craig.
Morning, Craig. How you doing?
Hi, good morning. It's actually Pembroke Pines.
How you doing?
Very good. How are you? I'm actually in the market for a Chevy truck, and I looked at, I don't know if I can say the dealership name down here, but they are exorbitant with their fees. And when I told them I wanted to get my own financing, they said I could do that and get all the rebates, but I have to pay an accessory fee on top of the dealer fee, on top of the electronic filing fee. And I said $2,500 in fees is absolutely ridiculous. I know I saw your other videos about fees, but that is like ludicrous.
Yeah. Well, Craig, I really think that you have a good chance now to get the best deal on a car you ever did. And if you're buying a Chevrolet in the Pensacola area, just remember there's thousands of Chevrolet dealers. And you might not be able to drive to all of them, but you can go online. And I would just get out my map, and I would draw a little circle, and I'd be looking for Chevrolet dealers within a radius of my home, and go to 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 Chevrolet dealers, and do it all online. Explain that you want an out-the-door bottom line price, and if they give you one, they'll be in the running. They will have a chance at your business. If they refuse to give you an out-the-door price, then they're out of the running, and you will buy from those dealers that will give you that. If they want to charge you fees, that's okay. Let them include it in the out-the-door price, because competition is your friend. If they know that you're going to 2, 3, 4, 5 other Chevrolet dealers, and they have a higher out-the-door price, you're not going to buy from them. So some sale at some profit is better than no sale at no profit. I think you'll be very surprised at the price you get. But don't play their game, and don't try to negotiate on their fees. Just say, charge me all the fees you want to, but I want to know the price that I can write a check out for, hand you that check, and get in that car, in that Chevrolet, and take it home. That's the definition of an out-the-door price. Give that a try. I think the dealers are desperate, Greg. The manufacturers are desperate. Business, our dealership business is off over 50%. Over 50%. I mean, we're losing money. I'll be honest with you. April, we will lose money in our car dealership. And customers are especially important to us today. And we will do virtually anything legal to sell a car. Use that to your advantage, and you will find you can get
trying. I've checked. I'm in South Florida. I'm in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, Pembroke Pines, okay.
Yeah, I've checked the dealerships around here, and my opinion, I think that they're not willing to make good deals yet because of these cars they have in stock were around before the pandemic started, and then the factories have all shut down. And once they start building again, then they're going to need to move those off the lots to make way for the new one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's possible. It's going to get better before it gets. You're gonna see, particularly this is April. We're getting toward the end of the month. I always advise, even before the pandemic, one of the best times to buy a vehicle is toward the end of the month or at the end of the month. Take your time. Time's on your side. If you don't need the new Chevrolet today, every day you wait, the deals will get better, especially as we get to April 30th. And keep on trying. But remember, if nothing else, the out-the-door price, and that has to be defined, because if you don't define it, they'll start sneaking these fees in, the dealer-installed accessories, and you can say, I want you to understand that I'm going to come in with a check in my hand. That check's going to have the amount of the price you give me, and if it's 1 penny over that price, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to go to your competitor and buy the truck from him or the car from him.
Okay, I appreciate it. Love your show.
Thank
Have a
you,
good day.
Craig.
Be safe.
You
Thank
too.
you, Craig.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Give us a call again. You mentioned the word desperation, and that can lead you to a lot of trouble as far as purchasing a car right now. And keep in mind that these lenders they're really willing to reduce or relax monthly payments right now. And if you make a special effort to make a phone call and get really involved in your car that you own right now and you can't make the payment, or the car you're going to purchase, that's really in good faith to make a phone call. And I just love speaking to someone and finding out how they can find out how dedicated I am to paying off a loan, because when you don't get in touch, there's more likely, to have trouble come out of that. So moving along here, if you didn't hear me earlier, ladies, $50 for the first 2 new lady callers, so give us a call. We have a mystery shopping report coming up, and that mystery shopping report is, of course, unfortunately, another doozy, and it's from Bremen, 877-960-9960. Or you can text us at 772-497-6530. I hope you're taking advantage of www.youranonymousfeedback.com. Now back to the recovering car dealer.
And remember, everybody, we are live, and I know we missed 2 shows, and some of you may think I can't call. You can call. You can call, you can text, you can YouTube, you can Facebook, and you can also do youranonymousfeedback.com. If you'd like to say something in confidence, we can never know the source of the question or the comment. Is for that purpose, that people will be candid and honest, or whatever else you want to call it. But www.youranonymousfeedback.com. How are we doing on text, Stu?
We got them coming in, but I had a thought on just on the timing of the best deals.
Yeah.
Be careful right now. Just a little insider information. Toyota is beating their estimates for this forecast, and there's a feeling in South Florida, and I'm only speaking for the Toyota dealers, that not that business has come back. We're far away from that, but business has picked up. And I think that's probably the result of a lot of smart consumers who recognize that there could be some desperation, some need on the part of the dealers to give good deals. So we're seeing that right now. So if just a word of caution, as the dealers start to feel better and a little bit less desperate, you might start to see some of those, those great deals become just good. So just pay attention to the media, see what the car business is doing, listen to us, because there has been a little bit of an uptick in the last couple of weeks.
On that note of caution, a lot of the manufacturers are coming out with special offers, and you have to be careful to differentiate between the manufacturer's offer and the dealer's offer. And the dealers will deliberately confuse the offers because they'll use something like extended payments and 0%, no payments for 60 days, 90 days.
Deferment.
Deferred payments. So some of the offers from the manufacturers are quite attractive, but you have to go and separate the dealer's discount. You should buy the car based on the dealer's discount, competitively speaking, with his competition. Exact same car with other dealers. That gives you the best price. Then the conditions like deferred payments and low interest rates or rebates and incentives, that's to sweeten the pot after you've already gotten the best price from the dealer.
Yeah, and be careful even with the manufacturer's offer, because some of that is it's legit, but it might be a little confusing. We looked at the Ford offer, and they had 6 months no payments. Now, 3 of those were deferred payments that you paid interest on during that time, so you don't get away from that. And the other, Ford paid for the other 3 payments, but the rebate that was available was less, so you actually end up paying more for the car.
Yeah.
That was a real eye-opener, Stu. And ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Knowledge is power, more so today than ever before. Separate fact from fiction. And some of it is a whole lot of gibberish. So, with that said, 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. We're going to go to Tequesta, where Anne-Marie has been holding. Welcome to the show, Anne-Marie.
Hi, thank you.
How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Are you a first-time caller?
I am. I've been listening to your show.
Thank you. Congratulations. You just won yourself $50.
Oh, great. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. What can we do for you?
Well, I just wanted you to know that I use your service department, and Randy is my service rep, and he has been awesome. He has been taking care of my car for 3 years, and I have a 2008 Lexus. It has over 100,000 miles on it, and it's running perfectly fine. And if I have a problem or anything, I call him, and he just does an awesome job.
Well, thank you very much. I'll pass that word along to Randy. It'll make him very happy.
Thank you. Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for the call very much, Anne Marie, and you'll give your contact information to the person in the control room, and we will get that check for $50 right out to you. Right, Nancy?
Yes, absolutely, Anne Marie. And thank you for helping me build a platform here at Earl Stewart on Cars. We certainly have more lady callers at this point than we have had in the past, and you are definitely part of all of it. So I ask you to spread the word and let the ladies know that they can, well, I think that you can use $50, right?
Yep.
And
yes, absolutely.
spread
Thank
the
you.
word with your friends, and I look forward to hearing from you again. And as Earl said, stay on the line. Make sure that you give Mike in our control room your contact information so I can get that check out.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You know, Anne Marie
Thank you.
said something that reminded me to remind you. If you have a luxury car, she has a Lexus, but she has it serviced at a Toyota dealership. If you have a luxury car like an Infiniti, don't take it to the Infiniti dealer. Take it to the Nissan dealer. If you have an Acura, take it to the Honda dealer. If you have a Cadillac, take it to the Chevrolet dealer. The prices at the luxury car franchises are much higher for common things like tire rotations, wheel balance, oil changes, repairs, anything that you spend in the service department. The lower price brand will give you a much better price. You can call up and check, but you're spending more money you don't have to if you bring your Infiniti into a Infiniti
They
dealer.
kill you on those big service intervals, like the 30,000 and the 60,000. I mean, you can see a $600 or $800 maintenance visit.
And the vehicles, a Lexus is a Toyota with a lot of extra accessories. I'm exaggerating slightly, but the Infiniti is a Nissan. The Acura is a Honda, but they sell for a lot more money. They doll them up. They put a lot of more bells and whistles on them. And people like the prestige of having the luxury car nameplate, but you can get them repaired and maintained a lot cheaper at the Chevrolet or the Ford or the whatever, Lincoln. You go to the Ford dealer. How are we doing on text, Stu?
They're piling in.
Let's hear one.
Okay, I'll start
Rick-
with anonymous feedback here, and this looks like it's from a concerned listener who's worried about us. Why are you in the studio today? You took 2 weeks off. That made sense. Now there's 2,500 coronavirus cases in Palm Beach County. How is this safer, and how does this make sense? Not setting a good example.
Well, that's a good question, and believe me, we wrestled with this. I mentioned we missed the 2 weeks because we both had issues with a possible infection, and we elected not to come in. The radio station is extremely good. The studio is cleaned every single day, top to bottom, disinfected totally, all the equipment and everything. We all are healthy in the studio, and we're careful to be sure of that. We maintain the mask and the gloves when we come into the studio, when we leave the studio. We just exercise a lot of care. And I think I mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you missed it, Nancy checked with her doctor. We've all checked with our doctors to see if we were doing the right thing.
Excuse me. I checked with 3 doctors.
3 doctors.
And the mention of Purell hand sanitizer is
Yeah.
real important.
Yeah.
The Lysol wipes are very, very important. And also the number of people that are inside this studio is very, very important. So we take safety very seriously.
Yeah, thank
And,
you.
the
Thank you for your concern. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely do. We're going to go to Warren, and Warren is from Pompano Beach. Good morning, Warren.
Hey, Warren, you there?
Guys, I got a question for you. I'm actually up here. I have 2 homes, one down in Pompano and up in Fort Lee, New Jersey. I'm stuck up in Fort Lee, New Jersey now for this whole deal. And the car dealers up here are closed, only for me. They're only open for me. So they're stuck with thousands of cars up here. It finally does open. How much of a bargain do you think you get on a new car for all the dealers, regardless, it could be a Toyota, Chevy, whatever, you think you're going to get, when they do open again, because they've been stuck and they can't sell it?
Well, Warren, this is Stu. I think, you're going to see even bigger and bigger rebates, and it's going to depend on the makes that are moving. So, and that's going to depend on their whole production plan. So, if they're smart and they manage to manage the production and stop the glut from getting too big, then you'll see lesser incentives. But you're gonna see the ones that were having a hard time selling cars before the pandemic are gonna have the hard time selling the cars now. I'm talking about Chrysler and GM, certain GM cars. I would guess that the popular imports like Honda, Toyota, Nissan, things like that. Well, maybe not Nissan. Honda and Toyota might be doing pretty good. But yeah, you got to watch it. You got to see. But to your point, different states with different lockdown policies, that's going to affect it. So, for example, in California, they're considering the service departments to be essential, but the new car showrooms are shut down. In New Jersey, it sounds like you're in the same sort of situation. Are they closing down the service departments too, or just the?
No, the service departments are open.
Yeah.
The showroom. And that's used cars, too. That's every kind of car. I mean, you can go to your local gas station, or you can go to the local Toyota dealer to get your car service. You can't buy one. The other question I have for you, of course, you cannot buy any cars here whatsoever now. Up here, would you think the price of used cars would go down as well because manufacturers are going to have all kinds of rebates to buy new ones?
Yeah.
Why would you buy a used one if you could buy a new one? The separation isn't that different. I don't. That was my.
Yeah. No, there's a time bomb happening with the used car market because for those very reasons, when they start to flood us with gigantic rebates and things like that, that depresses the market and it trickles down to used cars. The other thing that used car dealers, which is pretty much every new car dealer too, faces is with that big inventory sitting there. The values have already gone down tremendously, and as they sit there, they continue to depreciate. And what's going to happen is, tens of thousands of car dealers across the country are going to be stuck with cars that are worth way less than what they own them for. And so that's another little economic bomb waiting to go off a little bit down the road.
I just want to get into a quick question. Do you think, like up here, like in Jersey, where they can't sell any cars, will they make the next model year, or they just try to get rid of the inventory, or hold the model year off to January or something? I mean, I can't conceive of them coming out with 21s in September and October. That would make no sense. I have no idea. What would you think?
I think there'll be delays for sure. I know that the one I'm most familiar with is Toyota. They've shut down over a month's worth of production in North America, and also I believe also in the other manufacturing plants around the world. So that is going to it's kind of a little halt on the production calendar that they talk about. So I could see some delays in the new model years coming out. It's all going to depend on what happens to business over the next few months.
Right. And from your point of the Toyota deal, are zero financing, do you see that coming to all models, the ones they can't get rid of? Like I see it advertised on television now, but it doesn't make any sense to me now because they can't buy a car up here anyway. Do you think they're going to have zero financing, or that's something that will come on?
The amount of the sweetness of the deal that's offered is going to depend on the desperation of the manufacturer and the dealer. Some manufacturers do not believe in long terms for car loans. It's generally not good for the consumer. You're kind of stuck in a car for a long time with a payment on a very old car. These 84-month loans with zero interest, they sound very attractive. And to be honest, I mean, there are some people really that a low payment is the only thing that matters right now. So that's going to be attractive. And people will take advantage of it. But even Toyota's doing it. Toyota has 0% for 60 months on their most popular 2020 models. And that's about as long as they're going to go. One way to do it is interest rates on by themselves are super low anyway. You could do take advantage of a larger rebate, do a shorter term, and still get a great low interest rate. I do caution against getting too excited about those long terms with zero interest rate, though.
Okay. Guys, thank you very much. Be well, and good luck.
Thank you, Warren.
Same to you, Warren. Give us a call toll-free, 877-960-9960, or you can text us at 772-497-6530. I can't mention enough, www. Your anonymous feedback.
You know,
Take
one of the
advantage.
things I wrote one of my blogs recently had to do with online buying, and there will be a quantum leap in online buying of everything. Cars will be included. And if you haven't tried it before, now's the time to really try it, because you're holding all the cards when you're in your home with your smartphone or your computer, and you're talking to dealers and getting prices. They will not, when they have you in their dealership, when you are in their territory, that's where the games begin, and that's when they start talking about adding dealer fees and dealer installed accessories. If you're not there and they don't have control, they know that you're going to buy from the dealer that gives them the best price, and you make that clear. Now's the time, because I think a year from now, when this is all behind us, more and more cars will have been sold online than ever before, and will be sold. So learn how to do it now. You got plenty of time. You're sitting home, you've got the computer, you can shop 5, 10, 15, as many car dealers as you want, and insist on the online price being an out-the-door bottom line price. Rick, you're waving at me.
Well, we've got a question from Paul Demore that fits right in here. He says, if I buy a car, when I sit down to sign all the contracts, if something just doesn't feel right with all the excessive fees and all, can I still walk out at that point?
You can walk out anytime before you sign, but the point is, if you have not gotten the out-the-door price before you even start signing, before you agree to sign, I wouldn't even, you can sign online, by the way. There are a lot of dealers who are offering electronic signatures. The main thing you need to worry about is a total, complete understanding between the salesperson, the manager of the dealership, and you on what that out-the-door price is. I use this because it's so easy to understand. Mr. Jones, I'm talking to the salesman, I'm going to write a check out on my bank, and it's going to have the total price that I'm going to pay you, including tax, tag, hidden fees, unhidden fees, whatever you want to put on there, put it on there. But I want to know, I don't want to give you one more penny. I'm going to walk in there, I'm going to hand you that check, I'm going to get in that new car I bought, and I'm going to drive it home. If you ask me for one more penny, you'll never see me again. That is an out-the-door price. And if you can get that across to all the people that you're shopping online, you will get a better deal on a car today than you ever have before.
Wow.
Okay. Stu?
All right, let's jump back over to anonymous feedback. Okay, this is one just letting us know that Toyota of Hollywood is selling, and it's a link to a Carfax report, selling this used 2019 Corolla with an unfixable recall. And unfortunately, that is happening all over the world, all over the United States.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. So we've talked about this for, what's 2020 now, so we're on 4 years of preaching this message. There is no law against a car dealer selling a used vehicle with a dangerous recall. There is no law against it. There is a law against a new vehicle manufacturer dealer from selling a new car, but used
There's
cars.
not even a law against not disclosing it.
Correct.
I mean, you know, some people would say, okay, buyer beware. You come in and you're going to buy a car with a dangerous recall that can't be fixed, and the salesperson says to you, I just have to tell you, Mrs. Jones, this car has a dangerous recall. It's a dangerous airbag. It can blow up your face and kill you. And if I sell you the car, you can't get it fixed because there's not a fix available. And then Mrs. Jones says, that's okay. I'll buy it anyway.
That's right.
There are people that say, that's okay. I don't think it's okay.
No.
But there are people that say that. But the dealers don't even have to tell you. They can hide it and not tell you. And we see that repeatedly.
Right, and the extent that the new car manufacturers get involved, they frown at it. They do just a little frown, and they say, you can't represent this as a certified vehicle that's backed by this manufacturer. So, for example, Toyota of Hollywood, Toyota says you can't represent a car with a recall, fixed or unfixed, fixed, as a certified car, but you can sell it. Just take the certified logo off it and have at it.
Okay. Any more text?
Oh, yeah. This is just a thank you on anonymous feedback. Says, hello, Earl. Thank you for putting on a message that the radio show was canceled last week. It saved me some time looking for it. What else do we got here? Here we go. Earl, you've indicated previously that Toyota has a 17% share of the market. Is that a total U.S. figure? It seems higher here in South Florida. Do you know the market share that Toyota has here in Palm Beach County? I do. So do you.
13, 14%.
It's lower than the national average. It's around 12%, 13%, and that is largely due to the unusually large number of luxury vehicles in this market.
Yeah.
With Palm Beach Island, a lot of wealthier residents. We see actually higher market shares for BMWs, Lexuses, Acuras, and Lamborghinis and Bugattis.
Yeah.
All right. Rick, do you got any text over there? I don't want to monopolize.
No,
the,
we just got caught up on YouTube. We're doing good here.
Then I can keep going.
Okay, I have one text that's really very interesting, and it was from Greg out in Denver, and this may interest you even more, Rick. But this is in reference to the service technicians are producing high-quality, detailed, narrated videos to help customers see what needs to be replaced or fixed on their vehicles. The multimedia effort is helping the store increase repair approvals, avoid potential litigation, and make house calls during the coronavirus pandemic. Do you think that you will all, ever, put that to work in the...
We've actually done quite a few videos for maintenance items, showing solutions and ideas, things like that. One of the weapons that we've been using quite often now is a simple cell phone where if I see a problem on a customer's car, I'll take a picture of it and have the service writer send that picture to the customer, say, this is what we see, this is why we think it should be fixed. And a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Absolutely.
Or
yeah.
use Skype or FaceTime. Nancy is actually visiting her doctor by Skype.
Yeah, doing a
and
virtual
FaceTime. And I think the world's changing. I think the way cars are fixed, the way patients are diagnosed, even after this is all over, I think we're going to find a real efficiency in this sort of thing. And
I have to agree with you, absolutely. What we knew as, everyday behavior, things will definitely change, and they'll change. They're changing for the best. And Greg, thanks for your question. And you can see we're on the cutting edge here as far as taking pictures, as Rick stated, videos and everything, because as Rick said, a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Those videos that Rick has up there are they are the most popular videos that we have on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of views. And I get all the comments and questions that come in, and every single day there was one that Rick did was titled "How to free a lock steering wheel." Yeah, Jonathan posted it. Hundreds of thousands of views, and every day there's a comment coming in, heartwarming comments like, I was in the Walmart parking lot, and I thought I was going to be stuck there forever. Thank you, Rick. You saved my life. Yeah, there was one that came in on Thursday that said, thank you, Rick. I thought I broke my company's van, because they thought that they had broken the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
That's just great. It just keeps you so driven, and keeps a lot of us very honest. And whenever you show a picture to a customer, potential service, they're coming in for service. Showing them that picture, that is really great. It's not only great to show them a picture of what was wrong with their car, but you're taking on I'm going to say like an intimate kind of a exchange between the two of you, and that customer feels pretty special.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get some more calls. How about
877-960-9960, or you can text us. You can text us at 772-497-6530. We're going to go to our favorite person, John from Palm City. Hi, John.
Good morning to everyone.